So the DJI Action 2 has been out for about 4 to 5 months now, and as you can see here on the table, a bunch of accessories are starting to hit the market, all for this little camera right here. We have companies like Telesin, we have SmallRig, as well as Ulanzi. And if you guys are familiar with my channel, I've actually talked about all of these brands before because they make a bunch of accessories for not just the Action 2, but for drones as well as other camera gears. Now, of course, with this many accessories, I'm not going to do individual reviews on each one, but I do want to talk to you about some of the things that are a little bit unique that each one of these companies has to offer. And each one of these companies have very similar products, just different builds and things that I wish DJI Action released, but good to know that we have companies like these third-party ones to make a bunch of accessories for this camera. Now, one of the first accessories that we have that actually all the brands created their own is this one right here, which is a clamp, and it has a USB-C port in the back. That way you're able to charge up this camera by itself. So you have the power at the very bottom, you also have the power here. You just clamp that on, and then now if you want to use your Action 2 and you need to recharge it, you don't always have to go back to the battery bank or that secondary screen. You can actually charge it with a USB-C here on the very back. Now, as far as prices and build quality, I will leave those down below in the video description, but if you're kind of familiar with the brands, as you can see here on the Telesin side, they sent me more products, I would say, that have a more plastic feel, which are also a little bit more affordable. So you have these type of cases here, which this one is plastic. They did send me an aluminum cage, which is a really nice one too. I did use this one in the snow. So they do have an aluminum one, but some of their other ones, like these magnetic ones with the 2-prong at the bottom, this one's also plastic. So they do have, I would say, more of the affordable set for your Action 2. And they also sprinkle in some of the aluminum and harder plastics, as well as the aluminums for some of these mounts as well. So as far as build quality goes, I would say the Telesin one has a little bit more of the lighter side. And then next level up, I would say, would be more on the Ulanzi side. And then if you guys are familiar with SmallRig, SmallRig is very known for building cages and, you know, a lot of the stuff for bigger industry, commercial stuff. So most of their stuff are very high quality aluminum. And just, you know, SmallRig has a very, very unique custom build to each one of their pieces. So if you're talking about pricing and build quality, I would say on the, you know, more affordable end, you're looking at the Telesin stuff. In the middle, you're looking at the Ulanzi. And I would say probably on the higher end, you're looking at the SmallRig gear. And we'll first start here on Telesin. The one thing I did like is that they sent me this one, which is a charger for your Action 2. Now all you have to do is plug in the Action to the top here. And what's great about this is that this is just USB. So you can actually plug this directly into your laptop, into a USB port, and you can charge up your Action camera just like that. And if you want to run it for a long time, you just have to plug this in, and you can pretty much run it as long as you can with the memory that's on the inside. But it does have a standard USB as well as a USB-C. And they also sent me this one, which is the underwater housing for the Action 2 with the battery or the secondary monitor. But what's nice is that Telesin does have this one, which is just made for the camera. So if you don't want to bring, you know, the battery pack or the secondary screen, and you just wanted to keep things nice and small, this is the first one I saw that they have this, which is an underwater housing for just the camera alone. Now, of course, the camera alone is already waterproof, but if you wanted to go deeper than the rated depth as far as the camera alone, this is where you'd want to use something like this. And if you're looking for filters for your Action 2, Telesin does have this filter set. 4 filters in this one. I believe it's an ND4 all the way up to a 32, as well as SmallRig. SmallRig actually has their own set of filters here. Same thing, we have an ND 8, 16, 64, 32. You should just be able to magnetize it on, and there you go. Now you have a filter that just goes right onto the front of your camera. And speaking of SmallRig, we'll jump over to what they have. This one I actually really like. We have the filter set, like I mentioned, that go on, and the magnets are really strong on these, which is a good plus. But I do like this one right here. SmallRig, if you guys know, I mean, they make, like I said, they make cages and, you know, mounts and everything for all the bigger cameras, mirrorless cameras. I have one from my Sony a7S III. And, you know, the quality of SmallRig is very high quality. But I do like this one right here because this is the only one that any one of these companies sent me, but it's a mini cage just for the camera by itself. And what's kind of cool about this one is that if you take this off here and then you use something like this one, which is the USB-C power, and then you hook that up to the bottom here, now you're able to keep the cage on and also be able to still charge it up with SmallRig's mount that has the USB port here. They also have this one here as well as Telesin. They both have aluminum cages for the mounts for both of them if you have both screens. The one thing I do like about SmallRig is that they do have the option here to mount it horizontal. So if you want to mount it this way, you could do that. And if you wanted to mount it vertical, you can do it, but you have to add the mount on here. I don't know why SmallRig just didn't add this little pop-out one on the side. This one's actually screwed in, which is kind of a bummer because I'd like to have the option to have both, but not always have this sticking out. And jumping over to Ulanzi, they sent me this, which is a little mini tripod, which is nice because it also has the magnet built into it. So if you do have your camera, you just have to hook it up there. It's also a tripod, but you can just pull this out just like that and get a little bit more distance if you're trying to vlog, trying to shoot anything up higher, and move this back, put the tripod out, and then stick that on your desk just like so. Another one that I like is this, like I said, is a ball head, but this one's just a separate one. So if you do have a regular tripod and you wanted just to throw this onto the 1/4-20 and then turn your mini tripod, your little handheld, into this right here, which is an adjustable ball head. So if you wanted to keep your gear, which I normally do, like to keep my footprint as small as possible because I want to keep this in my pocket, in my bag, I'll normally lean towards something like this because I just want it to be really accessible, really portable. And there it is, guys, just a bunch of new accessories for your DJI Action 2 from pretty reputable brands. We have Telesin, SmallRig, as well as Ulanzi. If you do have an Action 2, I'd highly recommend looking into these because these are some of the accessories I'm sure that everyone wishes DJI came out with, but they didn't. So good to know that there's third parties like these that have a bunch of things that I definitely use. I definitely use the USB charging. I actually used the cage when I was out there because when I had my Action 2 out in the snow, I just wanted to have that extra security to know that it wasn't gonna separate or fall apart. And if you guys do have a DJI Action 2, let me know which one of these accessories is kind of intriguing to you, which one you think you might use or need the most. Of course, all the links to these products will also be down below in the video description. So if you guys are looking at accessorizing your Action 2 and getting some things like this, the cage, the mounts, the cables, some of these other magnetic USB chargers, I'll leave all that information down below in the video description. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. And also don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I post new videos. This is Ultra Anastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.